Thanks for joining us again. I'm Dr. John O'Keefe, breakthrough specialist and host of the television show Celebrity Entrepreneur, the show that gives you tips and ideas on how to create success based on successful people and what they've already done to create success in their business and lives. Today I'm very excited because we have with us marketing guru Tom Petty. Thanks, Tom, for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Good to be here.
Yeah, appreciate everything you're doing, and I know you're busy, so thanks for coming by. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about Tom. He has a fantastic career, and he's helped organizations like Apple, Nike, Nissan, and many others. And he's actually now spending time with SCORE, and he'll tell you a little bit more about that. But more importantly, he's written a book called Marketing Without Money. It's a fantastic book that gives you tips and ideas that you may have to spend a lot of money on other places. And so he's going to tell us more about that today. So Tom, tell us, how did the book come about?
Well, I joined SCORE in 2002, and I started counseling small business people. And it was very easy to recognize that these people were very different than the clients I dealt with in the advertising agency. In the advertising agency business, I was dealing with clients that had hundreds of millions of dollars. So marketing was mainly about spending a bunch of money, and now I'm dealing with people who don't have any money. So the main thing I learned in my counseling with these people was these people needed to know what they could do to get the same results as a Nike or an Apple without $100 million in marketing. So through the course of counseling and doing seminars, I created this concept that they could use the exact same strategies that Apple and Pizza Hut and Nike and all these successful companies had used without any money, because the main core, the core idea of all these strategies was about having a good idea. So if you have a good idea, that idea costs you nothing. Now, it may cost you a bunch of money to implement it on television, but there's many ways. The most important thing is to have a good idea. And as we see in today's world, where there's a lot of television commercials you wish you didn't have to watch, they have the money, but there are no ideas there.
Right.
So this basic strategy that I developed is, let's teach the people in small business about the basic issues where you can grow your business. And most people think marketing is advertising. Actually, marketing is a much bigger field than just advertising, and advertising is just a small part of it. So I teach people, number one, if you want to grow your business like Apple did, you need to satisfy more people's needs. And how do you do that? Well, Apple does it by creating more products. So if you have an iPhone and they've satisfied that, then you develop an iPad. Then you have an iPad, you have those needs met. You know, this was in inverse order, but they invented the iPod and iTunes, and now you got iTV. Pretty soon there'll be iLife. You know, you can live your whole life on a pod.
Exactly, yeah.
But the same thing with a small business is you can figure out, how can I serve more people's needs? So that's number one. Number two is, how can I make it easier for people to get my product? That's the core idea of distribution. Starbucks built its entire business on just making it easier for people to find a Starbucks store. So the core ideas are you know, one is new products through making products or services that satisfy the needs of more people. Number two is making your services and products accessible and available to more people. That's generally called distribution. Next, you can increase the way your packaging looks, you know, improve the packaging. So we all have packaging. That's your packaging. My hat and kind of a casual look is my packaging. Steve Jobs always wore a turtleneck sweater, black.
Right, I remember.
That was his packaging. But our packaging in a business is everything that people see. So your website, your business cards, your invoices, your office, everything that people can see is your packaging. And then in the same way, I tell people in my seminars, we all know how to market. All of us, from the time we became an adult, we started thinking about, how can I attract something into my life? How can I attract this person into my life? How can I make myself more attractive? So that's what packaging is all about. making your product or your service more attractive.
You know, and that's so key, because a lot of the clients that we deal with, the C-level execs and the entrepreneurs, they talk about this thing called the law of attraction, and here you have some practical ideas on how to get this. Are you listening to this? I hope you are. I know I'm the interviewer, but I want to be taking notes. So Tom, what can people expect in your new book?
Well, this book is, the first part is all about what. You know, what is marketing? Marketing is everything you do to get and keep a customer, a good customer. What is a customer? A lot of people, you know, they use these words without understanding. In my definition, a customer is somebody who pays you. So lots of times I'll say, you know, you've got a new product. Well, do you have any customers? Oh yeah, a lot of people. Well, have they paid you? No. Well, then it's not a customer. It's just somebody that you gave a gift to.
Yeah, I think we've all had those customers.
They're not customers. They're friends, or, you know, they're acquaintances, but they're not customers. So by defining a customer as the entity, so what? I've got ears. You know, it doesn't make me unique to have ears. It doesn't. You have one of 300 million websites. So what? The critical thing about marketing, at the thing people most think of marketing, that end part where you move from awareness to consideration to intention to purchase, that part is all about getting someone, or getting to understand, first of all, who might care. Everyone doesn't care. The response of, you know, the Oscars are on last night. Who cares?
Right.
There are some people that care a lot. So start with the people who care. And that's the first question to ask. Who would care? If I'm selling track shoes, who would care? The obvious answer is people who run track. So the second thing is, once you figure out who's going to care, then you have to come up with, what's the message? Why should they, what can you tell them that will make them care more or care at all? So the first thing is to figure out your target audience. The second thing is to figure out what your message is. And then the third thing, the final thing, is to figure out what media you're going to use to reach those people. Conversely, most people I counsel with, they go backwards. They say, should I advertise in this magazine? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Whom do you want to reach? Does that magazine reach those people? Do those people care? Oh, I never thought about that. So, as I tell people, marketing is very simple. It's not easy, but marketing is very simple. As I understand, as I said earlier, we've all been doing marketing since we were out of puberty. You know, we are marketing ourselves all the time. But marketing in its most sophisticated way is about being a little bit mysterious and a little bit elusive. And I always say to people, don't you think men are more attracted to a strip club than a nudist colony? And I say the same to women. I say, you know, aren't women more attracted to Chippendales than a men's locker room? It's about the way you package and you know, have some suspense. So if you just come out and you say, I got a book. You know, it's like, who cares? You have to come up with some intrigue and mystery, and you say, wow, can you imagine what if you could buy a book for only $15 that would help you double your sales? Now you might be interested.
There you go. Well, that's the thing. And so as you're watching this, I hope you've been taking notes, because in the book, Marketing Without Money, specifically Tom Patty's Marketing Without Money, because he's got some unique ideas. You know, he's worked with SCORE now.
10 years.
Counselor, 10 years. And giving tremendous seminars. If you get a chance to see his seminars, I suggest it, because as you can see, he gets down to the very basics very quickly. So, you know, we talk about passion a lot on this show and the reasons what drives people and so forth. And we can see that you have a passionate reason. So what's the main reason why you got into writing the book, why you got into working with SCORE and helping people the way you do? Because obviously you're not there just for business. You've got that covered.
Well, it's interesting, actually. I retired in 1998 from the advertising business. And fortunately, we'd sold to a big, huge company, so I was financially taken care of. And I thought, I was 53 then, and I thought, boy, I know a lot of people who are retiring with a lot of knowledge and experience at pretty young ages. And I thought, wouldn't it be great? I think I'll start a company and get together all of these people who have retired and have all of us donate our services back to small business. And then, wouldn't you know it, I discovered it already existed. It was an organization called SCORE that it did exactly this whole thing. So I joined up in 2003, and I started doing counseling, and then I started doing seminars. And to answer your question, why, because that's a good question, I'm just a born, you know, some people are born to be doctors, some people are born to be firemen. I was born to be interested in business and marketing. You know, from the time I was as far as back as I can remember, I always would say, I wonder why people do that. I wonder why that one succeeds and that one fails. So I've always been curious about what's the difference between the people who succeed and the ones who don't, and the well-run companies versus the one that don't succeed. And this passion that I have for helping people perform better, that's really, when people say, what do? I don't say counsel. I say, I help you perform better as a business person. You know, my goal is to help you grow your business. My goal is not to counsel you. If I could figure out how to make you grow your business without the counseling, we just do that part.
Right.
But my great success, my great payback comes when one of my clients has success. And I keep pretty good track of it. You know, I love my success stories. That's my wallet.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's the great feeling when one of your clients' students does really well.
Right.
You know, and it's funny you mentioned that because we talk about passion. A question of mine from the time I was a kid was, why are there people of incredible success and why are there people, you know, laying in the streets? There's got to be a difference. You know?
Right.
And so I really respond to your messages in there.
Yeah. A little bit is what you know. As you know, maybe less than half. Half is what you know. The other half is who you are. And that's the difference. I see thousands of people one-to-one on counseling.
Right.
And I can tell within the first 7 minutes whether they have what it takes. Because there's an energy. There's a, you know, if they come to me and I say, you know, why are you doing this? And they say, well, I lost my job and I can't get another job and I don't want to, you know, I want to stay home. And I don't want to do anything on Thursday because that's my golf day. But I really, really want to make money.
Right.
And I generally say, you ought to get another counselor. I'm not going to be somebody that can help you because your motives are all wrong.
Right. You know, and as we say many times, it's all about your motive. Why are you doing what you do? What drives you? And as you can see, passion drives Tom. So I suggest that, I mean, for $15 you can get Tom Patty's Marketing Without Money and get even more ideas and tips. So what are you going to do now? Are you going to act on your passion? It's great to have information like this, but what action are you going to take? And so what would you suggest? What would be a suggestion you have for entrepreneurs?
The first biggest, and this is what I always talk about, is do you want to be one? The biggest single decision is not whether you're going to be a bookseller or a bricklayer or whatever. It's, do you want to work for someone else, get a job, or do you want to start your own business? And a lot of people just simply shouldn't be starting. My first chapter of this book, the first chapter of this book is entitled, Why I Failed as an Entrepreneur. Because being an entrepreneur is extremely difficult. It's a lot harder than just showing up for a job. As I say, I think Woody Allen said, 90% of success is just showing up.
Yeah.
That's true if you're an employee. But if you're an entrepreneur, showing up counts for nothing.
Yeah. That's right. You've got to have something.
Yeah, you've got to be able to deliver something, and you've got to be able to have a certain temperament that can deal with a lot of rejection and frustration and the reality of the probability you're not going to have instant success. I mean, people talk about Nike. It took Nike 20, 30, 40 years to become a $19 billion company.
Right.
It took Apple 40, 50 years to become the success that they are. I always remind people about, Nike started by Phil Knight selling track shoes, not running shoes, track shoes out of the back of his station wagon at a track meet. That's
Right.
how Nike started.
Wow.
Apple started with 2 guys in a garage. No customers, no clients, just 2 guys and no money. So people want to emulate Nike, and I help them. Okay, you need to emulate the Nike, the $9 Nike, before you try to emulate the $19 billion Nike.
Right. So, all great ideas. So, Tom, if people want to get the book, how do they do that?
Well, they just go to this handy little website, tompattiesmarketingwithoutmoney.com, and you can get it there, and hopefully there'll be some other points of distribution, hopefully on Amazon pretty soon. But right now, all of the proceeds, if there are any proceeds to this book, if we sell enough copies to have proceeds, all those proceeds go back to SCORE. So SCORE is helping me a little bit with the marketing, and there's even an ad in the back of the book for SCORE, because SCORE, I attribute a lot of the last 10 years and whatever I've been able to accomplish has certainly been because of SCORE. They're actually my distribution system.
There you go.
So it's a fun read. I don't take, as you can tell, I don't take this stuff academically seriously. I think, as I say, if you can't tell a 5-year-old about it, you shouldn't be talking. So I try to reduce everything down to something that can be understood and viscerally understood pretty simply.
And that's it. And as they say, but wait, there's more. Because you can get the book, get great ideas, but you'll also be helping other entrepreneurs and organizations like SCORE who help people grow their business. So, with all this information, my question to you is, what are you going to do? You've listened to Tom and his book and great ideas, but you got to take action. You have to go out, you have to get the book, you have to attend SCORE seminars and other things to build your business. And that's exactly what I suggest you do. So, Tom, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
I
you,
know how
Dr.
busy
John.
you are with everything. And so there you have it, tools that you can use to build your business. I'm Dr. John O'Keefe, your breakthrough specialist, and this has been another show, Celebrity Entrepreneur. Remember, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're right.